Hi, my name is Khurafati Nitin. You know, I've often met people whose life is so inspirational that I try and get their stories across so that you and I can learn a little from them. हमने जिंदगी में बहुत ऐसे लोगों से मुलाकात की है जो हमें लगता है कि बहुत पेट्रियाटिक है. Now, living in your own country and worrying about the people in your country is patriotism. Working for them is patriotism. But today I'm going to make you meet someone who doesn't live in the country anymore. But फिर भी सात समुंदर पार रहकर भी उनका दिल यहीं पर इसी देश में है, and she works for the upliftment of women in the country. We're really proud today and really honored that we've got today with us Megha Ji, who is the founder of Giri Foundation. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nitin.
It's such a pleasure meeting you. I've been tracking your story, I've been reading a lot about you. And honestly, it is so inspirational. And I think that everyone watching this today should make notes, because often you'll hear people saying that, I want to do something for the country, I want to do something for people, but I can't find the means. But you've actually proven that where there is a will, there is a way. So, Megha, before we start, right at the beginning, I want to find out because you were a full-fledged lawyer, doing well for yourself in life. इतनी पढ़ाई की आपने, यहाँ पे भी कई लॉ की किताबें हैं, ऐसी बहुत सारी किताबें पढ़ के जो है आपने लॉ किया. How did this journey start? How did you think of moving from being a lawyer to actually working for the upliftment of women and founding Giri Foundation?
So, Nitin, I got married in 2016 and I moved to the US. Before I moved to the US, I was in the Supreme Court. And I was born and raised in Katra National, Jammu Kashmir, which is in the mountains.
Yeah.
Which is again the foothills of National Movies.
Yes.
I've always been surrounded by a lot of Shakti and a lot of women power.
Yes.
So growing up, I want to give a little background about how I, probably got inspired by what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So growing up in the mountains, you do see, women, they do most of the work. They're super talented. They do everything. The men, they come down to the plains, the work, and it's the women who take care of everything. So back in Katra, I would have like my mom. I want to say that I did come from a little privileged family, so I didn't really see my mom, struggling. But I saw people who were working in a house who were women. They would come from, neighboring villages and they would do all the work, and then I went to boarding school in Missouri when I was 9 years old. I studied in Missouri International. Okay, I was there for like good 9 years. Our caretakers for women, again from the mountains. Then when I moved to the US, I went to London in between, then I moved to the US. When I moved to the US, I remember I was at the gym and I wanted to do something for the country and I wanted to do something for the mountains.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure what was it that I wanted to do. So I kept thinking about it and I've always been very vocal about women empowerment, feminism. I wouldn't say I'm a feminist, but not a crazy one, but I am one. So I thought of the foundation because I wanted to work for women, for the Himalayan women, but I didn't know what it was that I could help them with.
Yeah.
But when we talk about women empowerment, we the Indian government and most of the governments actually all over the world, they focus a lot on skilling them. They'll skill them, they'll give them money for skilling. You skill someone, you give them the hope and employment, and then there's nothing. So why waste the money on employment? On skilling, not employment. So I went back to my house. My husband and I. He's a techie. So we sat together and, I was like, I want to do something for women in the mountains, but I don't know what it is that I can do. So we did a bit of a research and realized that women employment or, including the workforce was actually coming down compared to 10 years ago.
Oh.
It's instead of going up, it's actually coming down, which was very shocking for us as well.
Yeah.
So that's when we thought of the foundation that let's do something where we can start employing women in the mountains. So that actually the tougher part of employing women in the mountains is that women in the mountains don't like leaving their homes. We're very comfortable. Pahadis generally, I'm a Pahadi, and my entire family likes being where they are. They don't like leaving their homes. So we then thought of, that instead of the market, they're coming to the market, why don't we take the market to them?
Awesome.
That's when the whole foundation, the whole idea came. Then let's start employing them. Let's look at what they are good at. We don't want to, because we didn't want to spend our money on skilling. We didn't want to focus on skilling at all. So we like, if someone knows how to make pickles and jams, we'll tell them to make that and we'll find a way for them to sell it. We wanted to remove middlemen. We wanted the money to go directly to the women. I think that's how the idea came.
So, very interesting. Because that brings me to my next question. You spoke about how you want to take the market to these women. And the little that I know about Giri Foundation, because I've been doing my homework and I read a lot about it, and I am a fan of your work, by the way. So there is this Herculean task in front of Giri Foundation because you have actually made a promise that you want to bring 1 million jobs to the women in the hills. How are you going to achieve this? It's a huge, huge task.
So, Nitin, we have opened the first store, which is in Katra, which is my hometown.
Oh, wow, that's a brick and mortar store?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
So we are going to we're starting off with opening stores, and we plan to open more stores in the mountains. We are in talks with the government in Himachal as well. If you can open a store in Manali, I had met the chief minister of Himachal 2 years ago when I was in India last, and then we even met the CM of. We didn't meet the CM, but we met the people in the CM office of Uttarakhand. If you can open stores in Uttarakhand, we want to start with opening stores in all these Himalayan places, mountain places where people come. So what the idea is that, say in Katra, we have the stuff from all the neighboring villages,
Right.
whatever the women are making, put it over there, sell it for them. That's part one, those stores. Maybe open a store in the US in the next 1 or 2 years. Second is that we're planning to go online in probably a month or two. So everything will be available online. Third, we're looking at collaborations. If there's a store in Delhi, like last time I was there, I had met with Megha Gandhi, which was 2 years ago, and she had connected me to I think an organic store in Khan Market.
Okay.
Because we have a couple of products which are coming from the mountains. We have Rajma, we have organic Rajma, we have Rajma. I think if I want, I can show it to you as well. We have Jeera coming from. This is actually made by one of our groups in Kinnaur.
Wow.
So we have formed our self a group in Kinnaur, and they're making this caraway cumin, which is supposed to be very healthy, but very good for your health. And then fourth is that, so another thing that we're looking at is that I have a friend in Paris who's a designer, and she does most of the designing from Jaipur.
Wow.
So I have spoken to her as well, and she's agreed to actually come to the mountains, do a workshop of 2 to 3 weeks with the women over here, and train them about according to the taste that sells in Paris, that sells in the French market. And so that's one. We have been trying to reach out to more such designers. We had even thought about connecting with the with NIFT, the design school in India, if they can, probably send their students or send, maybe their trainers to come and teach. Because, what actually lacks in the mountains is that with these women is that they don't have good aesthetics. So, along with the Indian market, domestic market, we were looking at, we're focusing even on the international market, the global market. Apart from what we're doing with the designer in Paris, this is one of my dreams actually, is to, take the artists from India, have them showcase their art in museums in the US. Wow. When I go back to the US this time, in probably a few weeks after I go back, I want to start talking to the Asian Art Museum in San Francisco, because that's where I live. Yeah. Because in the Asian Art Museum, we actually have a lot of the art from Himachal. Oh. Kangra art. There's miniature Kangra art, and there is the Soli art, which is from Jammu. There is Thangka art that is made by Buddhist monks. Yeah. So maybe, hopefully, in the next 6 months or a year, we can have the women go over there and showcase their arts. Yeah, so that's what we're looking at for the next 1 year.
Fantastic, awesome. So now, since we are talking about the products, I was just going through the enormous range of products that you have. So, Megha, these are authentic handicrafts that you are going to be sending these on your website also very soon. So, we couldn't display everything over here, but we got a few of the articles over here. Like, for example, this is very interesting. You told me it's made with pine needles.
Yes.
And there's an entire reason why you started using these, because this is also saving the environment. It protects us from forest fires. So tell us a little about the products we have.
So I'll start with the first product, which is made by the women close to Katra. It's a place called Lumai. It's actually, these incense sticks are made from the flowers that are offered to Vaishno Devi, the goddess. Which, twice a year on Navratras, they do a lot of floral decoration. So before they started doing this, the flowers were actually going for a waste. So then there's a Gurgaon-based group that thought of it, and they've employed local women. They make these incense sticks twice a year. They get the flowers, they dry them. They have trained them how to do it. This is one product.
You see that?
Yes, please.
Oh, smells like a dream. Amazing. And the packaging. Look at the packaging. Fantastic. And there are a lot of the earrings over here, some bangles over here.
So these are actually again made from pine needles, these earrings.
And if I'm not wrong, it's pretty difficult to work with these.
Yes, because they're very sharp.
Yeah.
Pine needles are that's what they call needles.
Yeah.
So they cut their hands, and making something like this also will take them like 4 to 5 hours. This is one. Then This is made by a group in Kinnaur. This is a group that we formed under Giri Foundation. It's for Kinnaur Farms. These women are, they're into organic farming. So they grow rajma, kidney beans, and they have chili ka tel is very good for health. It's for health benefits. Made by them in Kinnaur. This is from a group in Bhadrava, made by the women again. Bhadrava is actually known for its saffron. Okay. It's probably the best saffron that grows in the country in India. This is made by them. Then
You've got some lemongrass over
yes, lemongrass is locally made close to where we Katra is made for that. There's a good story about this one. So just I think a week back, when I want to talk about this, so when we thought of the foundation, one of the biggest hurdle that we thought we would face is that how are we going to reach out to these women? How are we going because awareness is the biggest problem right now in the mountain. People don't know that there are people working for them. This specific product, I think a week back, two women, the store that we have in Patra, two women, they came to our store with this, and the girl who was sitting over there, they told them that we made it only for your store because we want to sell it here. Fantastic. So now instead of us going to these women, the women are now coming to us. And apart from that, this is another group which is again Bhadrava. This is I think Kashmiri Silaj. Yeah. Yeah. And this again you talked about.
But it's interesting you spoke about the saffron because हमें तो आज तक लगता था कि कश्मीरी saffron जो है वही सबसे अच्छा आपने कहा कि where is this from?
Bhadrava.
Bhadrava. That's part of Jammu.
So Bhadrava is actually it actually comes between Jammu and Kashmir. Like it's in between. Okay. The altitude is probably similar to Kashmir. Maybe that's where the saffron is there. But then they have the best saffron, they have the best kidney beans, rajma, and they have the best lavender.
Amazing. All your products get through. What is also happening is that as we were talking about the pine needles, ये बहुत सारा waste material है because when pine needles actually fall down from the trees, तो ये वहाँ पड़े रहते हैं. When they dry up, they can actually cause forest fires. So in a way, you're also protecting the environment with this.
Yes. So we have actually collaborated with the Forest Department of Rajouri. Rajouri is the district that has this specific project under them. So the Forest Department got in touch with us, and I think probably 2 weeks back I met them. I met the women who are making it, and they told me that reason they are doing it is because they want to help the forest fires, stop it. So I want to talk about this group which is in Dehradun, Project Purukul. Project Purukul was started by a Dostpur professor. So before COVID, there were these couple of women who were working with this different group in Dehradun. But then when COVID hit, they were fired by that group. So they came to the Dostpur professor and she thought of this. It's called Project Purukul. So the next product I want to talk about is Project Purukul. Wow. Purukul is you want to have a look at it?
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Purukul is a product which is Project Purukul actually is the name of the group that is formed by a professor from Dostpur. Okay. So before COVID hit, there were a couple of women who were working with this another company, another group in Dehradun. They were fired by them because of lack of finances. So they went to this woman who's a Dostpur professor, and they're like, we need a job. So she thought of this. What they're doing is that they're picking up waste product, waste cloth or whatever waste apparel from tailors and from a lot of people. They want to recycle their clothes because even I've started doing it. Yeah. So they want to recycle the clothing, they want to sustain it. So they take those clothes and they make it into quilts.
Wow.
Quilts, bags, cushion covers, they even do crochet. So this is made by them. Fantastic. Which is again in Dehradun.
I'm looking at the bags. No one would know that you actually made it from waste apparel. This comes from factories, which is basically just going to be dumped. Yes. And they're actually making these bags out of it. Fantastic.
And there are around 50 women who do it.
Oh, fantastic. So, Megha, as a businesswoman who has deep connection with Katra Jammu, how have you made sure that, your cultural roots and your experiences, they have been incorporated into the Giri Foundation? Tell us a little about that.
So, Nitin, like all Indians, I'm also very proud of where I come from. Growing up, I want to actually say thanks to my dad. He made it a point that we were very rooted, that we were taught the language Dogri that we speak. And a lot of people not even speaking that language because they say it's a little too backward, which doesn't make any sense to me. But he always made it a point that we respected our culture, we respected our traditions. Even at home, early morning, we were made to do things that he did when he was growing up. Right. So, and my dad is a businessman. So I kind of learned everything from his experiences and I kind of do it now too. So I think my seeing my father do what he was doing kind of has helped me with, respecting my tradition and my cultures. And then I want to talk a bit about my mother. So my mom she's a great cook, and she makes brilliant pickles. And she used to, like, when we were, she would show me her wedding trousseau that she made herself. She would take a month to make a bed cover and all of that. So, and but the sad part is that their generation, they didn't really focus much on women empowerment. My mom, my masses, my aunts, a lot of them, they're very talented. But then all that talent was only limited to making products for us. They would knit for us, they would stitch for us, they would do whatever else. Seeing that, I feel now what I want to do is that I want to bring that outside. Maybe that is, I want to say that maybe that's a tradition that I want to bring to the global market. Things that I saw growing up, I guess.
Fantastic. And you never know. I mean, your mom might see this episode and she might just start, selling pickles.
Yeah, I was telling her because I'm planning to do something in the US, and I was telling her that why don't you make pickles and I'll sell it there.
What pickles does she make?
She makes everything. She makes potato, aloo ka, she makes aam ka. We have a lemon called karkar. She's like a pickle lemon. Yeah. She makes that. She makes absolutely everything. Beans and everything.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
The entire country has been talking about Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. And then another term was added, which is Beti Kamao. And if I'm not wrong, you coined it, right? Tell us a little about that.
Yes, we did. We thought of it when we thought of the foundation.
Yeah.
Because we kind of grew up reading about, save a girl, educate a girl, save a girl, educate a girl, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. But what after that? You'll save a girl, you'll educate a girl, then what? Then she'll get married, and that's it. So we thought of, why don't we include Beti Kamao, which the literal meaning is that empower a girl or a woman by making her financially independent. Because as a girl, I know how important it is for me to be independent financially, right? That's how the tagline came into being. And funny part is that after we thought of the tagline, I read about it, and why hasn't the Indian government thought of it? There is this there is this person called Junaid Ahmed, who was an advisory to the ministry from the World Bank. He had actually recommended it to the Indian government, probably I think 7 8 years ago, but the government didn't really take it seriously. So there are people who are thinking on the same line as us, but yeah, we were probably the first ones who actually included it as a tagline.
Well, you're actually doing a great job at that, Beti Kamao, because you are marketing these products very well, and I can see something very pretty over there. Ye kya hai exactly? The work looks very intricate.
So Nitin, this is called Chambar Rumal. Chambar Rumal is it's got its own GI
Chambar Rumal.
Yes, Chambar Rumal.
That's a big handkerchief.
Yes, it is. And they don't just make handkerchiefs. They do wall hangings. They do saris. They do just about everything. This is embroidery, which looks the same on both sides.
I think they call it do taka or something
Yes,
like that.
yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Oh yeah, look at this. So I think the camera should focus on it. Just have a look at this. So it is so pretty and the work is so intricate that if we actually flipped it around, it's difficult to figure out which side is the right side.
Yes, that's the beauty of this product.
That's the beauty of it. If it's got Krishna on it, every side is the right side.
So most of the Chambar Rumals that you'll see, they have a story. They'll even have a Ras Leela. This is Ras Leela. I think 80% of the product actually has Ras Leela, but now they've started adding more to it for sales. They've started making peacocks, started making different animals, flowers, whatever suits you, they make it now.
And Megha, there are a lot of success stories attached to these products. For example, I can see a name over here, Anita. And if I'm not wrong, this lady has been like, she's won a lot of accolades, a lot of awards also.
She has. She's this really nice, simple woman who lives in Chamba.
Okay.
And we connected with her 2 years ago when we did an exhibition with her in Delhi. We got all the artists to Delhi. We did an exhibition at Beacon House. We got around 4 groups with us. They showcase their art. Because what we believe in is that the person who's making the handicrafts or the text or whatever, they need to be the one showcasing it. Wow. So we got there. She then was so, I want to say, she was so encouraged by the response she got from the people over here. She went back. After she went back, she spoke to me. She wanted to train more girls under her in her village. So she trained around 16 more women under her. They made these products, and now we have connected them to the American market.
Fantastic.
They have their products. There are a couple of groups in the US, in San Francisco and around, who are actually buying the product and selling it over there for them.
Wow, amazing. And I know a little bit about cloth material. I can see it. I think that's tussar.
Yes,
what exactly
is. That's
that?
A dupatta. That's a dupatta.
Can we see this also?
Yes, true.
Quickly. Fantastic. Again, it's the same work.
It's the same work.
So now Rumal is dupatta now.
Rumal.
This is Chambar Rumal, but this is the Chambar dupatta.
Chambar Dupatta. And if you see, this doesn't really have the Krishna, the Ras Leela. Now they have changed it. People can actually give their own designs now and they make it for them.
Oh, yes. It's like custom made now.
It's custom made.
Fantastic. And again, the same thing. You can actually flip it over.
You can flip it over. And this takes around 2 months because it's all hand done.
2 months?
1 month, 2 months.
But usually, one artist would make one piece, right?
Yes. If there are 4 artists, then it'll take 3 weeks. But if mostly it's done by one artist, because then what happens is that most of these women, they do the household work in the daytime. In the evenings, when they have a little free time, is when they start working.
Fantastic. And you got one more piece over there, I think. That's again Krishna Ji.
That's Krishna Ji. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a small one.
Now that's what you call a Chambar Rumal. The right size. No, but it's beautiful. But that entire art is called Chambar Rumal.
Chambar Rumal.
Yeah. So next time you go and you see this, you'll remember that Megha actually gave us all the details why it's called Chambar Rumal. Fantastic, Megha. This is amazing.
And we have the Chambar Rumal even exhibited at the Asian Art Museum in San Francisco. They have like this very old, I think that was made around 7 to 8 years ago. They have like a big one showcased over there.
Wow. Fantastic. So, Megha, what happens is when you see someone like you who's working for the upliftment of women, doing such wonderful work, selling such wonderful products also, even for the end consumer, these are beautiful products. I'm sure there might be a lot of organizations and companies who come forward and they want to collaborate with you. Has that happened?
Yes, that has. We collaborated with Vardhaman Group. And then we have collaborated with the Forest Department of Jore, which is the district in Jammu and Kashmir. Then I think for now these two. And then, of course, there's another one called JKRLM. JKRLM is a group in Jammu and Kashmir as well. They work with women groups. So we collaborate with them.
Excellent, fantastic. Now, that brings me to the next question because, I can see the wonderful work that you're doing. So I'm sure there is already a roadmap in place.
Yeah.
When you look at the next 5 years, where do you see Giri Foundation going?
So the next 5 years is, of course, we want to be able to be working with at least 1 million women, for sure. That's what my dream is. That's what everyone's dream is.
Yeah.
And in order to achieve that, we are going to go online. We're going to have an online portal where we're going to sell the products all over the world. Apart from that, we're ready to collaborate with stores, existing stores who are interested in, showcasing our work in their stores, be it India, be it outside.
Fantastic. All this talk about the wonderful work that you've been doing, I'm sure you inspired 1 million people right now and they all want to join hands with you. So how does one come forward and support the Giri Foundation? Is there a website? Is there a number we can call? How can we do that? We have a website. We have a phone number on that. We have an email ID on that. We're actually very more than happy if someone can come forward and volunteer with us because we're looking for volunteers. We want to connect with CSR groups if there are people who are interested in CSR support to us. I think, there is a way to do all that on our website and do it. Can we spell it out? What is the email ID and or the website address? The website is called girifoundation.org. .org. All right. Yes. So girifoundation.org. That's what it is. Fantastic. Awesome. Well, Megha, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, and honestly, the entire journey that you've been through, it is so inspiring. And I'm really hoping that anyone who's watching this interview today is going to be inspired and they're going to come forward, join hands with Giri Foundation and work towards the upliftment of all the women in the hills like you're working. So keep up the great job that you're doing and all the best from GAAS Media, from Khurafati Nitin and from the entire country. And God bless you for the wonderful work that you're doing. Thank you so much. It was a privilege. Thanks for being on the show.